In this video, I am continuing my search for budget RC drift gyro options. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Troy and this is Roadside RC. If you follow the channel, you'll tend to find me drifting and bashing and crawling and racing, plus doing product review videos and how-tos. And if you follow the channel, you'll see that I've been pretty passionate about trying to help people get started with rear-wheel drive RC drifting on the cheap. And one of the ways is always looking at a gyro. Now, my go-to gyros, honestly, the Futaba GYD 450, the new RWD gyro, both of those really good. The Yokomo DP302 V4, also really good gyros. But all three of these are in that like $80 to $100 range. And so there's a lot of folks out there that are really interested in something maybe a little bit cheaper. And so in this video, we're going to be installing this SkyRC. This is the GC301 gyro. Very budget friendly. We're going to be putting it into this drift car, my Sakura D5 here, and seeing how it performs. Now this SkyRC gyro, I actually got used from a buddy. So I don't have any instructions with it or any wires whatsoever, but it does look pretty straightforward. Top wire looks to be receiver, middle wire is gain, which will go to channel 3, and then the last one is an output that goes to the servo. We have an LED, we have a reversing function, and we have a limiting, probably steering limit or gain function there. So this should all be pretty easy. I'm gonna get some wires for it, and I'm gonna just double-sided tape it down to the chassis. With some double-sided tape, that SkyRC gyro is loaded in right here on the bottom chassis plate. Should be nice and solid and rigid for it. For this SkyRC gyro here, so the servo just plugged directly into the servo port. Gain and receiver, so the gain is a 3-wire plug. It doesn't have to be, I guess, 3-wire, but it's a 3-wire plug that I have plugged into channel 3. And the receiver is 3-wire plug that I have plugged into channel 1. So we're going to get it fired up now and see how it works. This one. Oh, that's bad. Well, this isn't any good. So I don't know if you can see it via the GoPro, but this LED is going nuts, sitting here dead still. Gyro gain on or off, it actually does it. The more gyro gain you give it, the worse it gets. I actually went from one servo to another just to make sure it wasn't some incompatibility issue with the RWD servo. I think what we're going to try to figure out here is if I unplug the gain, even if I unplug the gain wire to where we're going to be setting gain manually, it appears to still not like life. And I can try to drive it, so maybe what we'll do is we'll take it to the track and we'll try to drive it and see what it feels like in driving. But obviously this twitching is not going to be good for my car or the gyro or the servo or anything, so may only get some limited laps with this gyro. So the gyro's in and calibrated to controller, and normally before I ever took a vehicle like this to the track with a change, I'd be testing it here in my garage. But two things: one, I have an impending track day, so I have opportunity to go test it out anyway, and then two, garage is kind of a mess at the moment, and so we're going to skip straight to going to the track. I'm still going to do some of the stuff that I would normally do, which is kind of like a circle. How well does it do a circle? How well does it do a figure 8? But then instead of going into my big C that I typically do here in the garage, I'm going to go just straight to on track. So let me get all this packed up, head to the track, and we will see what the results are. like it had a good feel to it, good precision, good sensitivity, seeing a decent amount of gyro wobble even at lower gyro gains, and I don't know if that's because of this twitching I'm getting from the gyro out of the, or if it's because of just gyro wobble. I can't tell. For the price, I think it's pretty decent, but it's hard to tell how I've tested it here today, which is really unfortunate. I think if you're considering just an utterly cheap gyro and you're not willing to spend the better money for a Futaba or a Yokomo or a RWD, then it can be an okay solution. But personally, based on what I've driven, there's probably others that I'd recommend instead.